They don't like to talk about it, but it's too personal. I'll say it. Some girls have a pretty privilege.
I always say I never want to be anyone's first bad bitch.
A lot of men deal with ego issues, just like a lot of women deal with insanity.
Men want to fuck women who they're not married to.
Uh-oh. Let me take a shot for this one. Oh, shit. God damn it.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Too Personal. I'm Joy Taylor. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I'm very excited about today's episode. My friend Symba is joining us today. Rapper, artist, creative, businessman, and he is an actor in Freaky Tales where he plays the iconic Too Short. So we're going to talk to him about that, amongst many other things, as my brother, and I am so excited for you guys to hang out with us today. So that's coming up later in the episode, and I have a really great rant about something that I am very spicy about that I will get to in just a second. And of course, we'll do another Never Too Personal. Last week's Never Too Personal was quite personal. Everyone had a lot of thoughts. I would like to remind everyone that when there's a question posed, then I answer the question, because there was a lot of responses about what about guys in foreplay, which I've literally never heard of in my fucking life. So I don't know. Do guys need foreplay? That's news to me. But that wasn't the question. The question was, what is foreplay to women, which was the question that I answered directly. So I'll try and be a little more specific in this week's Never Too Personal so that we know what we're talking about. But thanks so much for sending in your questions. We love hearing from you. And I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with Dr. Bryant. I had a great time hanging out with her. She's amazing. So we'll get to Symba later. But I want to start with pretty much the news of the weekend. Obviously, it was the NFL draft this weekend. My nephew Mason is a New York Jets. So we are New Yorkers now. Okay. That's where we're going. I don't want to hear a word about anything I've ever said about the Jets. It was all lies. Okay. I love the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. Although my brother played there for a year. So and I've always said it's my favorite year of his career because they went to the AFC Championship game. But anyway, I was with my nephew when he got drafted. And the conversation through the weekend has been about Shedeur Sanders. If you aren't a NFL fan, if you're not a football fan, basically this young man who is Deion Sanders' son was projected to be a really high pick in the draft. High picks generally mean that you're better or a more for sure prospect. He slipped to the 5th round of the draft, which is a much more is a round that you go in if you aren't considered to be polished or really ready for the NFL at the moment that you come out of college. He is not a 5th round pick. No one had him projected as a 5th round pick, but he did slip there. And there's a lot of conversation about why he fell in the draft and who's to blame. And there's some conspiracy theories out there, and there's all these different things. And this isn't a sports show, so I'm not going to get into any of that. I talked about that on my show that I do daily called Speak. If you want to go hear what I had to say about that, it's on my Instagram page, or you can go rewatch the show. I love that as well. But what I want to talk about specifically is a topic that I get into a lot. And I think it's the bigger picture takeaway for me surrounding this conversation. And it's the word humble. And the word humble to me is such a toxic, overused word in our society. One, I think that most of the time it is an absolute dog whistle. Because if you pay attention to who uses it and who they are describing, there tends to be a pattern for who they're talking about not being humble. Let me cut to the end. It's usually not white men. Generally is applied to women or young black men or black fathers who speak too highly of their children and project them to be great and speak about things that they're going to do. It rubs people the wrong way when people don't come to the table with a sense of humility. And I think the issue that I have with the word humble is when and where it's used, and the fact that people conflate being humble with being grateful. Humble is different than grateful. That's why they sound like different words, because they mean different things. And people try to mush them together, and they apply it to people who come in with confidence, who are unapologetic, who don't bend the knee, so to speak, who don't come to the table with a sense of really just, I'm just happy to be here. And listen, some people are like that. Genuinely, that's their spirit. That's how they carry themselves around the world. And I think that's great. I also think it's great when people walk in with full confidence, pull up all the energy in the room, they're bombastic and have audacity. That's great too. call me crazy, but I think that people can have different fucking personalities. And none of them bother me because my shine and my light is not contingent on what someone else brings into the room. I can stand in my own truth. And I didn't have that confidence my entire life. But now that I do, I'm sure as fuck not going to let some random human being take that away from me. And the reason I know I'm not going to do that is because my entire life people have tried to tell me to be humble. Every fucking day. Be humble, be humble. Be humble for who? You ate boogers. You think the earth is flat. You think I'm going to be humble for another creature that has the capability of eating Tide Pods? My guy, it's not happening. I will be humble before God. I'll be humble before the universe. I'll be humble before nature. I'll be humble before my mother. And even that has limitations. I am not about to be humble for another person. That concept is crazy to me. Who the fuck are you that I should be humble? Now, gratitude is different. Coming to the table with gratitude, being grateful for something. I think that's a very important quality in a person. Understanding what someone has done for you, what someone has given you, what you've been through, what you've experienced and how you've grown from something, the experience that you're having, the opportunity that you're getting. Gratitude is so different than being humble. It means different things. It is approached differently. It has a different energy. Humility and gratitude are just not the same thing. And when people conflate the two, they project that the person who is not being humble somehow has some sort of character flaw, that they are above everyone else, that they see themselves as better, or they're arrogant, or they're entitled. Like, I don't have to show up with less light because my light makes you uncomfortable. And the reason I feel so strongly about this is every time that I've ever been humble for someone, they have taken advantage of it every single time. They get inside your spirit, they get inside your brain, they start to break down who you are, they start to shift the energy and the foundation that you've built in yourself. They try to make you feel self-doubt. They convince you that the things you used to love about yourself are actually really bad, that the things that you may feel guilty about, you should feel so much worse about. And it's happened to me every single time. It's happened to me in friendships. It's happened to me in family. It's happened to me in relationships. It's happened to me in business. So fuck humble. If you don't feel comfortable with my energy and light, get the fuck out of my face. You don't have to be here. We don't have to work together. We don't have to be together. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to be family. You don't have to tolerate me. But what the fuck you're not going to do is somehow project that someone who is not humble somehow has a character flaw. Now, someone who is never grateful, I do believe, has a character flaw. Because if you cannot appreciate things, if you cannot appreciate the opportunity in front of you, if you cannot appreciate the work that other people have done for you, if you cannot appreciate the gifts that you've been given, that is different. It is just different. And no matter what anyone says about being humble, and I get it, there's like this religious connotation. I don't care. I don't care what your religion says about humble. You be humble. You be humble if that's what you want to do. I love that for you. You being humble has nothing to do with me being humble. I'm not a humble person. I don't plan on adapting. I don't plan on trying. And I don't like when people use this, especially to describe young Black men. Stop fucking telling people to dim their light because it makes you uncomfortable. And listen, you can say whatever you want about, okay, he's going into this huge space. It's a great opportunity. Yeah, he worked for that. He didn't wake up, roll out of bed and say, you know what I'll do today? I think I'll play in the NFL. That's what I'll do. No, he put in hours in the gym, hours of training, stretching, massages, studying, practice, travel, training in the off season, other practices in the off season, meetings, working with experts, taking care of his body, eating right. Did you do all of that? Did you, random scout, do all that? Or did the player do all of that? He earned the right to be in that room. That's why the fuck he's there. That's what I love about sports, because it is the ultimate answer to things. Like, nothing is a zero-sum game. Somebody might be great and go to a bad place and then they don't have the career they want. But when you're talking about getting to a level like the NFL, you've earned it. And they always say this about these young people. Like, oh, well, they should just be humble that they're in the room. The fuck are they in the room for. They're in the room because they offer a talent that you desperately need because you want to keep your fucking job. That's how all of this works. And I really feel very strongly that we need to use words appropriately and we need to use them for what they mean. And if you're going to project this idea onto people, be careful that you're not consistently using that word to describe specific groups of people because you might be telling on yourself. You could just, if you might go back and look, there's a little through line here. It's a little through line here, guys. It's looking like we're only describing certain groups of people as not being humble. Why is that? What is it about that is making you so uncomfortable? Because here's the thing at the end of the day. I don't need to be grateful to someone who didn't give me anything, and I don't need to be humble for something that I've earned. Now let's move on to Sinners. 10 out of 10 movie. I will not argue about this. Everyone who has seen it loves it. There's a lot of conversation around this movie. There are a lot of different angles that people have discussed, a lot of thoughts, a lot of connotation. It's the story of cinema right now, and I thoroughly enjoyed every single second of this movie. They absolutely crushed it. I have no notes whatsoever, but I wanted to talk about it, and there's so many different angles to get into and so many different things that I felt about the movie. But I saw this post today on the Black Folks Rock Instagram page, and they posted this question in response to the movie, and they had like a slide of a bunch of different angles that people have had on the movie. And it said, is it more dangerous to face enemies who show their intentions clearly, or those who hide behind their kindness until it's too late? Now, you would think there's a very obvious answer. You want to face your enemies straight away. But there are people who are like, yeah, I think I could deal with somebody hiding things and navigate it. And if you've seen the movie, obviously this is a big theme of the movie, that people are pretending to be their friends. They are pretending to help. They are pretending to believe in equality. They are pretending to love them. All of these different elements, but it's all really just a lie. And I feel so strongly with all of the different connotations that are in this movie and different societal implications, that part is so important to me. I would so much rather deal with someone being obviously evil than pretending or being lukewarm about things to protect themselves or benefit themselves in order to somewhat advance someone else's position. That's the whole bit with the Irish vampire, right? It's like, oh, it's about community. Like, let's be together. And one of the takeaways that I saw was that, the Klan is the Republicans and the vampires are the Democrats. And I actually really liked that comp. I feel like it's a little direct, but that is sort of what I took away from it as well. That there are these people out there that sort of position themselves in the community or position themselves with certain groups, but they're not really allies. They're not really there because they believe in you. They're not really holding things up. I mean, we can talk about white feminism for the next 4 days and we wouldn't get to the bottom of all the different ways that has been used as a weapon against Black women and women of color and Black men and many other different variations. So there's so many stories in this movie. If you haven't seen it, stop what you're doing if you're capable right now and book a movie ticket and go see it right now. You have to be a part of it. You're going to be very sad if you didn't see it. And it is just a spectacular movie. But I really loved that takeaway. And that's the one that really stuck with me, is like facing a true enemy, facing someone who actually hates you, facing someone who is actually evil, facing someone who is not there for you, doesn't support you in any area of life, not just on like the big political scale. For me, that's so much easier to navigate than someone who is sneaking around you, pretending to support you, but is really actually working against you. A horrifying thought. I'll take the bad guy any day. Oh, I fucking hate fake bad guys. There's this one person, I will never forget this. Never forget this. Very early in my career, that was confronted in front of me about the things that they were saying that were wildly offensive. And when the confrontation was finished, they literally looked at the person and was like, "Oh, I don't believe any of that. I just do it for clicks. What did you say? You don't believe any of, so you're just out here peddling bullshit that you don't believe in fundamentally just so that you can make money. Cool. But like you sleep at night doing that? Like this is interesting. I would so much rather you have said, yeah, well, you know, I just think what I think and you just have to deal with it. That I can navigate. Okay, so this person is a piece of shit. That's easier to understand. Doing things that purposefully hurt people and advance a horrible rhetoric just because you can't be creative enough to have a position that gets clicks whilst also educating people on a real conversation, embarrassing. Ugh, the laziness of it all. Anyway, Sinners is incredible. Obviously, don't have enough time to get into all the different angles of it, but oh, spectacular. What a great movie. 10 out of 10, right, Marcos? 10 out of 10. All right, speaking of movies, Freaky Tales, go see that as well. It's time to talk to Symba. My next guest is rapper, entertainer, actor, philanthropist, and Bay Area native, and my brother, Symba. Welcome to Too Personal.
That's my favorite title, the brother.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that one.
People don't really know that we're like family.
I know.
This is my play cousin.
It's crazy all the time because like people walk the fine line of like trying to ask me like, yo, like, is that your sister? Or, like, I'm trying to like hook up with them. Like, bro, get out of my face, bro. Like, don't come to me about my sister like that, man.
Do you tell them I'm super mean? And
no,
unavailable?
I actually tell them they're not fit for you. They don't belong with you. They don't belong in the same place as you. So I tell them I'll never bring them around you.
You know, hooking people up is a dangerous sport.
It's very dangerous, especially when it's people you care about.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, like, bring the person around that, like, gives the very bad impression that just affects your relationship as well. Like, what do you look at me as for you to hook me up with this person?
It's also risky, obviously, because you don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
But you don't know how it's going to begin. You don't know if you're completely off. But introducing people is a way that a lot of people meet.
Yes.
And because it's become so risky, y'all don't know how to act. Because women will ask all the time, like, oh, you got male friends? Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, but
yeah. And it's like,
y'all going to have to figure that out on your own. I'll create an environment. But no, I can't be responsible for that. I got enough shit to deal with.
You can't be responsible for what the environment produces, right? As like friends of both parties, it's like, look, I care for both of y'all. I may care for one more than the other, but I'm not going to pick a side in this case because it has nothing to do with me. And if I pick a side, I'm going to totally ruin y'all relationship because I'm going to solely be on this person's side. I'm going to be like, red flag. Red flag right there. Nope, don't do it. And it's just, it's not a good thing.
My last long-term relationship, I met him through one of my male best friends.
Really?
It wasn't intentional,
Yeah.
but we ended up in the same place, and that's how we met. And he asked permission to ask me out from my friend, and then my friend checked with me, and I was like, yeah, what's up? Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, but I don't want to fucking hear anything ever from either one of you at all. I don't want to know shit. And we respected that. And it ended on really good terms. So there was no need for any kind of friction.
Yeah.
So the risk was taken and it worked out well.
No, I think that's the safest way to play, especially in the industry, because it's like, especially for somebody like me, like, you know, I was raised by a single parent. So like, I got a different attachment to women when it comes to my mom. So I care a lot, especially about the women I work with. So it's like, if I feel like if it's somebody I'm working with or like somebody I'm close to, if it's affecting them, the person that I hooked them up with, then I'll be like, hey, bro, or hey, sis, you affecting this like, shit, I'll give you a story now. My sister has this thing where she just like goes bad on her husband, and I'm like, sometimes you gotta let him wear the pants, like, and she's like, you my brother, not his. But I'm like, I'm still a man. You know what I mean? I know how it feels to not be heard, so it's like I still gotta offer what's right in the situation because I have to care about him because he cares about you. So
right.
And
he's family now if he's her husband.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. Like he don't mean no harm. He called me all the time. hey man, call your sister, man. She doing it again. Here she go again. And I call her, what's wrong? She said, this motherfucker want to sit on the game all day. I'm like, man, let him play the game. He tired of hearing your ass.
I've been in between family relationships before.
Yeah.
And it's not a fun place to be. Because then you got to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to involve me and put me in the middle of this, I got to tell you when you're the one who's fucked up.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to hear that.
And then it's dangerous, too, because it's like, they'll try to sway you. So they'll start calling, like it'll start off as fun. And then when it get bad, they'll start calling you like, well, what do you think? Look, don't involve me in that. I told y'all leave me out of it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely not.
I definitely know the feeling.
It's super, super risky.
Yeah.
I can't imagine arguing with a man about anything.
What do you mean?
Oh my God. What do we have to argue about?
You
what
argue with men every day.
Yeah, but like, I get paid to do that. I have for free?
Yeah, but in life, like your job as a woman is kind of like proving men wrong in certain spaces.
Professionally, but like in a interpersonal relationship, I'm not fighting.
Okay, I can see that. You saying the person you're with.
Yeah.
You don't want to argue with.
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
I thought you were saying like men in general.
No.
Gotcha.
I'll fight with men every day, but in a relationship, and that's also very confusing for a lot of men because they think that how I am on air or how I am when I'm talking on this show or I'm talking on social media is how I am with my relationships. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to be mad about everything all the time.
Well, it's also, you can be very intimidating for men. So
good.
I have a friend of mine who works in radio. She's a great person, great spirited person, but she has a very broad personality to where a lot of men see her and know they can't get the bullshit off. So it's like they automatically like, try to friend zone her or like make her the homie or whatever. And she's like, damn, I want to date too. But I was telling her like sometimes men are intimidated by what they don't deserve in the moment. So sometimes men don't be prepared to deal with a woman like you. It's a lot.
I think it depends on the man and
That's true.
What position he is in life, what his experiences are. I always say I never want to be anyone's first bad bitch. Because that's a lot of responsibility.
And I think that's more so what I was referring to, because when I look at someone like you or the person I was talking about, you guys are kind of in that 1%, right? To where, you beautiful women got things going for yourself. And to a lot of men, they don't necessarily, who hasn't been around that or hasn't learned how to deal with that in workspaces or whatever it may be, that can be very intimidating in the house when your girl makes more money than you, or she drives a better car than you, or she has more authority financially over you. That can be a big toll on men because they usually want to kind of flex that power and they're the provider and they want their ego to be heard. And when they can't, they feel suppressed at times, so they kind of like create problems that don't need to be created to make it seem like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I can't. There's no shot. Fuck, I'm doing that. No way. And I will date men that don't make as much money as me. It's not even an issue. But my prerequisite for a man, and I just got asked this by one of our very good mutual friends recently, like what do you want in a man? Kindness, consistency, and passion.
That's not true.
Everything else.
That's bullshit, Joy
no,
Taylor.
It's not.
I'm not letting you get away with
true.
that. Because if you found that,
true.
You'd find something else wrong with that. You'd say he's too nice.
No.
He's too fucking nice.
I don't like. No, wrong. You cannot be too nice to me. I've
seen men be too nice to you and you turn around on them.
Okay, but not all men. But I'm saying if I'm interested in you, you can't be too nice to me. I'm not doing a bad boy. I'm 38 fucking years old.
Okay.
I'm like chasing a man around. The fuck?
So say those three things again. Kindness,
not non-negotiable kindness.
Okay.
Consistency. I don't like this sometimey shit. One day you're this, the next day you're that. Yeah. Like I have too much going on. And I'm too consistent of a person to be wandering. The second I start feeling like you're playing games, I lose interest. Whereas some women are like, oh, I'm gonna like chase and like I'm gonna like win that. Like I'm like, no, you got it.
But you're kind of like the alpha male in that situation. Not to call you a male, but you're the dominant one in the situation with most men you're probably gonna meet.
I don't know. I think I'm very feminine with men.
I'm saying to what's dominant to them. See, most
what
men,
they're used to. What are men used to?
Most men look at status as dominance, or appearance, or finances, or a certain friend group, right? They'll see who you hang with or like a certain way you present yourself and be like, damn, I don't fit in, right? So they could feel like, damn, she's a little too much for me. I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
So they'll like slowly push themselves away, or like I said before, create problems that aren't there to make you push yourself away.
Yeah, I want to be clear also. I don't have problems dating.
Well, I'm sure.
They're all wonderful.
Okay.
I don't have any issues.
Okay. I think some women say they want a certain thing, and then they get it, and then they want more.
Or they want, I think they want like a tamed version of it, like a converted version of it. Like you work in entertainment, and anytime that you are in that kind of space, it comes with a certain amount of attention. It comes with a certain lifestyle. It comes with certain challenges. It comes with a certain level of attention. And I think some women want those things, or want the things that come with it. Obviously, money is one of those things, but there's a million ways to make money. You don't have to be an entertainer to make money, but it's a different kind of money. It's like a flashy money, and people are seeing you places. And
Do you hear how confusing that sounds?
Yes. Yeah. I agree. But I think some women want all of that, but then once they get that person, they want them to like be a homebody and be consistent and be in the same place all the time and, you know, go to the apple orchard, but you know, you have to be at the studio, and you know, those are the kind of conflicts that are created.
That's the problem. I seen a friend of yours say something on the internet that I thought was dope. Shout out to Dr. Bryant. She said everybody want a dog until he barks.
Hey,
right?
She has bars.
So you say you want this good-looking guy.
Which is why I don't have a dog.
Right? You want this good-looking guy. He has to be kind. He got to be great in bed. He got to be cool guy. He's funny. He's personal. You want all these things, but you want those things tamed and tailored to you. When not specifically you.
Right. When we
just
say
a general conversation,
we mean
right?
Between women and men, yes.
So most people will meet the thing they think they want, get it, and realize they want a tamed version of that. And then when that person doesn't want to tame themselves, it becomes a conflict.
Isn't it the same for women though?
Very.
But like
That's why a lot of men deal with hoes.
Men, I mean, because men will do this. Men will want this is something that I have dealt with. This is honestly something I've dealt with, where men will want all of the frills, right? They want the personality, they want the beauty, they want the body, they want the fun, they want the travel, they want the status. But then they'll get that and they're like, why are you doing all this? Like, motherfucker, that's why you wanted me. What do you want me? Now you want me at home barefoot in the kitchen, which is cool. I'm going to do that most nights, but some nights I got to pop out. And I can't, my thing with anybody, whether it's men, women, whatever you're into, trying to dim somebody else's light, that shit pisses me the fuck off. Don't ask for something, and then when you get it, try to change it. Like, this is what you wanted.
I agree.
And that's not to say that people can't evolve and that things and priorities aren't going to change. You're a father now, so you, I'm sure, are different than you were before you had Aiden.
For sure.
And your life is different. So those things are going to change, but people change for themselves, not for you.
For sure. I think that's a true thing. I think a lot of people, like we were saying earlier, a lot of people don't know what they want until they actually get it. And I think a lot of people make mistakes by like looking for the perfect thing right away. Like if it's perfect right away, I don't want it. Because I think a relationship is supposed to become that. It's not supposed to be perfect in the beginning, because now if everything's perfect in the beginning, what do we grow to? We done everything.
So you have to suffer for your love.
So I think not suffer, but you got to learn how to be friends with somebody. You got to learn.
That's different.
You got to learn the person
different.
You're around. Like, don't just look at it like, oh, this girl bad. She got everything. She got money. She got a house. She got a good job. She got this. She got that. Boom, boom. You like, I'm done. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm about to solely be with this girl. Then you get with her and then she snore at night. right? Or just like she just a big back.
Sleeping
like,
habits.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to be dealing with this. You know what I'm saying?
Sleeping habits are important.
It's you gotta
align.
test it out and learn the person you dealing with before you just fully commit to it. And I think once you fully commit and you grow together, you guys learn each other to a point to where it's unbreakable. I think that's what makes it perfect.
What is the worst relationship take on the internet?
I don't believe that whether man or woman, everything should solely be dedicated to one person in the household to take care of everything.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Financially.
Fair. Yes. But I think that's bullshit because it's like everybody goes through things and, shit happens. So you may need help at this month. You may be holding it down for a year. Something may happen where you can't go to work and, your check not coming in. And this person might have to go work a second job to keep the household up to, what we used to obtaining. So I think in a relationship, it should be a team thing, not an individual thing. And I think we're looking at relationships very individualistic today. If that's a fucking word, I just made that up.
I think individualistic.
It sounded good, didn't it?
Yeah. We are wordsmith. I think that we have a hard time with traditional roles. But I think we have a hard time evolving the traditional roles to a modern society.
I agree.
So there was a time where women couldn't work and weren't able to have businesses and weren't in the workforce in the way that they are now. And their job, because it is labor, people pay people to clean their homes. People pay people to cook for them. People pay people to take care of their paperwork. People pay people to be their assistants. These are jobs. The woman would do all those things. And it wasn't paid labor because the man would take care of all the finances and would make enough to take care of those jobs being paid for. And so that when people say like a housewife, there's different versions of a housewife. There's the one I described.
I agree.
And then there's one where you literally do nothing and you stay at home.
For
and so you have enough finances that people do clean your house and you stay at home and people do cook for you and you stay at home. There's versions of that. But the idea of that is traditional. So when we talk about traditional roles of the man takes care of everything and the woman doesn't pay for anything, in that scenario, you would be a traditional relationship. But in a lot of ways, those things are skewed. Like the conversation of, the woman should, like if I go to work all day, should have food cooked at home. Yeah, if I'm not at work all day. But if I'm at work all day and you at work all day, why is it my job to cook?
So I got a friend that's going through a tough time in a relationship right now. And he met the person at a time when his finances was at a certain level. Finances aren't where they once were today. So him and the person is like falling out or whatever. And I was telling him like she never liked you. She like a version of you. Right? Because the person who he was when everything was okay is who she liked. She liked the leather seats. She liked the dinners. She liked all this. But the thing is, she stepped up, right? And she played a role to where when things weren't moving for him, she still kind of picked up slack. But because she only liked that little version of him, she's like, I'm only going to deal with the slack for so long. So I would tell him like, bro, your ass better get up and walk the dog before she get up and make sure some breakfast in the house or something like until you get back on your feet. Right. Because it's like a woman only going to take so much. Like you could use somebody, you can't misuse them.
Nope, 100%. I have supported men financially throughout my life.
Because finances aren't everything.
They aren't.
But they're the most important thing, I feel.
I would argue health is the most important thing.
I think finances.
Can't
fix your health without finances.
Not in this country. I think they're very close though. They're splitting hairs.
Very, very.
But for me though, it's what you said though. Like it got to a point where they were ungrateful, and one of them actually cheated on me with a stripper with money that I gave him.
Oh wow. How did that make you feel?
I mean, honestly, I love a good plot.
Because I feel like women,
like the shit was so crazy that I was like, this is fucking unserious as fuck. How the fuck you gonna be sitting on my couch playing Xbox all day after you lost your job, after I fucking told you don't do this thing, it's gonna make you lose your job, and he lost his fucking job. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a soldier. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be a ride or die. and I'm like, take a week, chill, get your mind right, whatever. Week turns into a month.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, look, you ain't finna be sitting on the couch playing video games all day while I pay all the bills. That's fucking crazy. So here's some money. Go out, have a drink, get your mind right.
Oh, he went and got a stripper.
Yeah.
See, I'm not mad at him.
Oh, we're not mad.
I'm not mad at him.
I mean, that's what I deserve.
Because you know why?
Because what the fuck am I doing?
No, I'm not mad at him because he probably felt so down and so low of himself.
He's got me paying his fucking bills.
And he
is
probably
winning.
didn't know how to express to you how he felt.
Dubs every day.
And she probably heard him in his most vulnerable moment.
Yeah, I'm sure she
probably was there to hear him
yeah.
and give him a dance and hear him out, and he was complaining. And you know what he did? He spent the money you gave him. He made a mistake. He made a mistake, definitely, but he was vulnerable. His pride and ego probably was hurt. He didn't know no better. He didn't know what he had at the
Oh, no, he certainly did not.
Well, I'm sure he does now.
She was cute at least. So there was that.
Well, most strippers are cute, unless you at like those truck stops in Seattle. You know where they talk like 29, 35, 29, like those. Like outside of that,
they're like an auction.
They're like, coming to the stage right now. We got Courtney.
25 sold. Yeah, I took everything, but we had 2 brooms, so I left him an extra broom.
Well, 4-0, he got swept.
Yeah.
Send him to Cancun, Miss Taylor.
Cancun on 3. Yeah, that was not a. I wasn't making great choices.
What's your what's dating advice that you hear that you disagree with a lot?
I mean, I think I would agree that the 50-50 is kind of it's not applicable to everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't judge women who want things paid for, but there are consequences to that, and everything is not that simple.
Real. They don't like to talk about it, but it's too personal. I'll say it. Some girls have a pretty privilege.
Yeah, 100%.
Some women have a pretty privilege.
Yeah,
Some women are going to get things that others don't.
Dragged for talking about this. But yes, obviously pretty privilege is the thing.
Well, you don't talk about it. I'll say it.
Okay, you say.
Some girls have a pretty privilege, America. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's some guys are going to do things for certain women that they wouldn't do for others because they like them more than they like the other girl that they didn't do those things for. It's perfectly normal. It's the same thing with guys. No woman wants like this ugly guy who can't hold a conversation, don't know how to dress. Like, who wants to fucking talk to him? You could put some Gucci on this nigga. You could put some earrings, some VVS. You still a ugly ass nigga that can't hold a conversation. Why do I want to talk to you? It's the same thing. Same thing.
I'm not arguing with you. I think the other one that I disagree with, I have a really hard time with this concept. Men want to fuck women who they're not married to.
Let me take a shot for this. Oh, shit. God damn it. Q, God damn it. Here we go.
Men want to fuck women they're not married to.
This is true.
They want to go out and date. They want to have experiences.
Mm-hmm.
They want to enjoy life. They want to go to parties. They want to go to clubs.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take girls home. They want to go to Cancun. You know what I mean? They want to go to strip clubs.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be with professionals. They want to do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Not all men, but most men.
Mm-hmm.
But then you want women who haven't fucked anybody. So
we're talking.
It's like it's a diagram that doesn't make sense to me. And to be clear, I don't give a fuck about this. I haven't been asked how many people I've slept with since I was in high school.
Yeah.
I would piss my pants laughing if a man said that to me. I'm divorced.
Yeah.
It's not a question you ask a divorced person. Been fucked, guys. So it drives me insane that this conversation is, and it's mostly super toxic, so it doesn't get too much play on the internet. But the idea that women are supposed to have a low body count, but you want beautiful women at that, women who get lots of male attention. You're supposed to sleep with no one,
Mm-hmm.
but then you want to sleep with women who aren't married. And my thing is, cool. Let's go back. I'm with it. Let's go back to the you gotta marry me thing. Where's the dowry? Like, where's my fucking horses and castle? I'm cool with that because I would have been a queen. So I'm cool with that. Let's run that back. Bring that the fuck back. Bring back the prince and the comes and like lays the gold. I don't know about this one next, but I'm a virgin, and then you get it. Let's do that. Or shut the fuck up, because you can't have sexual freedom with restrictions. That's just patriarchal bullshit. And then you can argue like, oh, well, it's, some women are for fucking, like, y'all can be hoes too, okay? Believe me, that is the truth.
No, but
you get up out of these older men up in an age like trying to settle down. Like, boy, you've been run through too. Please be fucking quiet.
I think
Nobody
what you're
wants that.
saying is very interesting because you're talking about two different type of men, right? A lot of men, those things you just named, vacations, hanging out, going to the... A lot of men don't want to do that shit. They're doing it because the girl wants to do it.
But I mean, a lot of men want to date. They want to have
sex.
They
want to have sex.
Right. I'm saying the same thing. Like, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, they want to have sex. So they'll do those things to try to manipulate their way to the sex, right? Now, you do have guys that are looking for something serious. I think in certain cases, I think it go both ways with anything, right? Men want a girl that's the most beautiful thing who nobody touched and she's the best in bed, just like women want.
How did she get to be the best in bed and she never had sex?
She had to have some type of experience. That's where I was going.
Oh.
I was literally going there. Like, shit, let's speed up
and get there. They do not put us through sex class.
So I literally was about to say, most men don't even know the type of woman they actually like till they like deal with them on that type of level.
Right.
And to deal with someone on that type of level, they have to be experienced. And in order to be experienced, they have to had partners before you, right? I think it's a pride thing and it's an ego thing where most men, especially men, financially dominant men, it's an ego thing to where it's like some men look at women as a possession, right?
Sure.
And they feel like it's like not to compare I'm not comparing a woman to a watch. That's not what I'm saying, right? Let's look at it as rappers. Some rappers grow up and like all they want is a Rolex. Mm-hmm. Like they're solely like rapping to get a Rolex. And then when they get that Rolex, they want to come in the videos and do this and walk around the room and show everybody because it's like, I got the Rolex. I finally got the Rolex. It's the same thing with a bad female. When somebody sees something they like and it's like, oh, I know he like her and he like her. I got the girl. Mm-hmm. So it's like a confidence thing like that they want to exude and show off when it's really nobody's business but you and that person you're dealing with. So I think with men and what you're talking about is you're talking about the crazy ego that men have to think something is solely theirs. I always look at it like it's never yours, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Right? So this may be your girl for 10 years, 20 years. Y'all might get married 30 years, but something may happen and you guys may not agree anymore and it could go separate ways and you find somebody new and now it's somebody else's turn. That relationship ran its course. So I think a lot of men deal with ego issues just like a lot of women deal with insanity. A lot of y'all are insane. Y'all have unrealistic expectations. And then when we can't live up to them, we're pieces of shit. We ain't shit ass niggas. We Lil Dick Daniel. We all these names, right? That we gotta go in society and still feel like this superior man to go get a paycheck to take you to dinner. It's insane. So it goes both ways.
I'm sorry, I can't even defend. I can't defend us because it's. You're right.
It goes both ways.
I would like to say that's not true, but women are fucking insane.
We all are insane.
We're all insane, but women are we're fucking insane. Yeah. But we just have a lot going on.
Yeah.
We've got hair, we've got makeup, we've got shoes, we've got periods, we've got, stalkers, we just got a lot of shit going on.
No, I had to learn that, like, working with women, because, like, I'm somebody that's, like, an hour in my head is, like, 2 minutes. So if somebody be downstairs in an hour, I start getting dressed, like, 5 minutes before that hour is up, because I know, like, all right, I'm going to just throw my clothes on and get downstairs. Women need, like, a time to get ready that's, like, 2 hours before the time they're leaving and all this thing. So it's like, you guys are very, like, on the point, anal about everything. And I think you expect that same communication from men sometimes, and we're not that way.
Yeah, we've got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
Do men, like, because I guess the other extension of this conversation is the idea, which I don't understand. I guess it's just me. I don't understand this, but, like, seeing someone in public that, like, your girl used to be with. And they're like, you gotta tell me if I'm in the same room with another man. Like, okay. Like, what the fuck is that gonna do besides irritate the fuck out of you? It doesn't matter. Like, if it's like a significant ex, like, an ex-husband or, like, somebody you dated for a long time, then that's understandable. Like, oh, like, that's my ex over there. But, like, somebody that you were with for, like, 6 months or something, like, why do you, what, and it was 3 years ago. Like, why are we doing this?
I think it relates to the industry.
And I don't think that's limited to women, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you. To men. Women do this too, which I also think is fucking insane. But I'm asking from a man's perspective, like, is it because men feel this irritation, or, like, what is the need to know? Because I don't understand it.
Insecurity.
Okay.
It starts with insecurity, but I think a lot of it plays a part in the profession that the man works in. So let's take somebody who's a regular guy, works a good job. Let's say he does real estate, right? And his girl runs into somebody she see at the bar. He was like, who is that? And she's like, my ex. And how do you know him? That's insecurity. But if we play on the same basketball team, right, and I'm hearing rumblings in the locker room that you've been seen with this girl that I've popped up at the game with before, I want to know from her, just so I'm not running around here looking crazy, right?
But why are you looking crazy? Is my question.
Because if you didn't fuck 9 niggas on my basketball team.
Okay, it went from 1 to 9.
I'm just saying, it can be that
reasonable.
way. It gets that extreme.
9 is
because
reasonable.
It can start with 1.
Okay.
And they making fun of this because him, and him. 9, then add her 2.
If it's 9, I'm on your side.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying 1.
Okay, so let's keep it at 1. If it's a 1, right? Let's say
and a team is different. Like, a team, it's a
okay,
teammate.
Let's say
you gotta understand. But,
music,
like,
can we use music?
Music is fine.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say realtors.
I need to know if
like, you need to know every realtor I've ever been with.
I don't need to know the realtor. As a musician, if you dated someone else that's in my field, I might want to know this because me and this person might not get along. This might become a diss record. This might become an issue in a club when we run into each other, to where he call you out your name, right? That we might be somewhere at a dinner to where he walking around mugging you, and I'm like, what was that about, right? So I at least need to know what's going on so I'm not in the blind, depending on who you're dealing with.
To be clear, I, for the most part, abide by this rule. I'm a very rational person, like, I try to not have problems with people. So if there was an actual problem, and I can't even think of a situation where it would be, I would be like, yeah, like so-and-so, whatever. But I don't want to hear another fucking word.
Yeah.
That's the end of the conversation.
And that's fine. Because you're drawing a line in the sand and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I know certain people who's dealt with women that's been around the block, and they like, I don't give a fuck. I like her. I can respect that. So because of that, you know what, bro? I'm going to respect that. I won't even look her way no more. But when you running around with her on Instagram, like, I got the baddest, can't nobody get her. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't need to say can't. Like,
yeah.
That's not a statement. Yeah. Can't nobody get her. I mean, well, I will say it goes the same way for men too. Because listen, if you've got husband, father, and Jesus in your Instagram profile, you a hoe. Change that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Change it.
There's a lot of good church women out there.
Change it. No. Men. I didn't say women. Men.
There's a lot of good church men out there. Shout out to my little cousin Phil. He's a pastor.
Let me tell you something.
He's doing great in life right now. Shout out to Humanity Baptist Church in Oakland,
California. If you've
California.
got husband, or like it's usually like Jesus.
Husband, I'm with you.
I'm
with you on husband.
Father, with like the cross emoji.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Check that man's DMs now.
A lot of men use...
Drug him. Check his DMs now.
A lot of men use their wife and children to get women.
Oh my God. In the streets.
They
you might as well just
do
erase it and put available.
Yeah. Men will literally take pictures of their kids on Sunday and not see them till like Saturday and be like, I was with my shorty all week. And it's like, women want to see you say this. You really wasn't with that kid. Like you're just saying this to manipulate this woman. So I totally agree.
It is
I agree.
I consider it a red flag personally.
I think humans just in general, like we all just some like manipulating ass motherfuckers that think we all smarter than each other and we all at the same level.
No. I'm definitely smarter than most people. I rebuke that.
That's the problem.
I rebuke that.
That's the problem.
I know I'm smarter than most people, for sure. And
Who's to say most people?
The reason I know I'm smarter than most people is because I don't know shit. In the scope of the things there is to know.
Okay, I see where you're going.
I don't know anything.
I see where you're going.
What the fuck I talk about, I do know.
So you saying right now in a natural disaster, you wouldn't try to lead the way out this building because you wouldn't know.
I have a
follow direction.
very sincere take on any kind of apocalypse. Don't look for me. I didn't make it.
I'm with you.
I don't want to rebuild Earth with y'all motherfuckers. I saw how you acted during COVID. I don't want to be here. Okay. I had a great life.
Maybe you are smarter.
Okay? Y'all got it.
Yeah.
I'm not rebuilding Earth with the fucking zombies or the aliens or the flood or the quiet place shit. None of that. I'm cool. I like manicures. I like Chardonnay. We're at a private members club. What the fuck am I going to do in an apocalypse? Yeah. But die. I will be zombie bait. You guys escape. Tell my story.
See,
she was so funny.
You can't argue with that. So to say that, you might actually be one of the
COVID taught me that I have been selling myself short my entire life on my intelligence. I've always been like,
how did COVID
I'm street smart, but I'm not like that smart. Well, mostly because people said a lot of inexplicably dumb shit. Mm-hmm. But the most important part of that journey for me was listening to and watching people who I know haven't read a book. Maybe can read, smoke cigarettes, do coke off strippers' asses,
eat red 40 die,
any number of things. But most importantly, don't be fucking doctors. Mm-hmm. Have the nerve to walk up in my face, also not a doctor, although I have a doctorate, and tell me what the fuck to do with my body. Mm-hmm. That simple statement alone is insane to me. Mm-hmm. The amount of times that I had to listen to someone who I know doesn't do anything for health, doesn't read, doesn't know what the fuck a medical journal is, talking about research to somebody who has a degree in research. I'm a broadcast journalism graduate. I know exactly how to research. Mm-hmm.
I salute you with that.
Telling me
I tried to
what
go
the
to
fuck to do with my body. I have a doctor.
Yeah.
This is a real conversation I had during COVID. This person asked me, what, about the vaccine, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to do what my doctor tells me to do. Because they're a doctor. They're like, what? You have a doctor?
Like,
what the fuck do you mean? Do I have a doctor? Yes, I have a doctor. I have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a doctor. I'm fucking 35 years old. I have a doctor.
I have a doctor.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Okay. I'm gonna move past the insanity of that sentence. Yeah. You have a doctor, ? Yes, I have a doctor, and I go to them when I feel ill or I
feel like something's wrong.
Some medication or something's wrong, or once a year just to make sure that everything's functioning properly, those type of things. Mm-hmm. Because I have health insurance. And maybe past the age of 25 you should start doing that too. But do you? And then they were like, well, that's just like it's crazy that you go to the doctor. I was like, should I be going? Where should I be going? Going to the mechanic?
Mm-hmm.
Where should I go?
Yeah.
To the doctor. So they're like, we're going to trust what they say. And like, no, I think my doctor is actually working for some secret government Fauci conspiracy to kill me with this vaccine. You don't have to take the vaccine. I don't give a fuck what you do with your body.
Mm-hmm.
But to form those sentences out of your face, to me, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know anything. You can barely spell vaccine. Why are you talking to me about this? If you don't want to get the vaccine because you think it's trying to kill you, don't get the fucking vaccine. But what you should never say to me is that I shouldn't get the vaccine because you're smarter than my fucking doctor. If there was anything wrong with my body, you think I would come to you? What the fuck are you going to tell me? Eat some sea moss?
I blame Steve Jobs.
I blame that motherfucker too. He gave us these phones and the internet and we're fucked.
Steve Jobs gave everybody a channel to feel like Don Lennon, right? Everybody has this phone now, and they go on YouTube and they go down these rabbit holes, right? Of like watching ESPN gives you cancer, right? Just all these different things, and the problem is there's a rabbit hole to go down for whatever argument you want to have. So even if you're right, there's an argument on YouTube to show you're wrong. And then that person is going to follow that rabbit hole, and you're going to be arguing with that person for so long to where we're never going to agree to disagree.
It's confirmation bias, and I'm not going to argue with them. Yeah. I'm going to say something more stupid.
No, I'm
going to out dumb people.
No, I've learned. I told somebody this the other day. I was in a conversation. I was in the Bay, and they was like, "Nah, I know Symba. Like, this my real homie. I really know him." I said, "No, you don't. I be lying. I don't be telling you the truth. You don't know me.
Right.
You don't know nothing about me." Right? But people have this made up idea in their head and this alternate reality of what they think things should be and how you should be and what you should do in their mind. And when you're not living up to their expectations of you, you're doing something wrong in their mind. So what I've learned, just be stupid with them. Hell yeah, you right, bro. I ain't getting that vaccine. I'm going to cancel my doctor's appointment.
Right.
And just drive off and go right to the doctor.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to argue with people.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue with men
I'm
in relationships with, and I'm not going to argue with somebody who doesn't know the difference between there and they are. Those are boundaries that I have.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Hard pivot, because I definitely want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Being an artist, being a rapper, the rap game is very interesting right now.
It's dead. Shout out to Kendrick. He's keeping it alive. Shout out to, all the top dogs, the Coles, the Drakes. I think Freddie Gibbs put out a great album this year. Playboy Carti just put out some cool music.
Mm-hmm.
But, rap is very uninspiring right now.
Why do you think that is?
I think taking street culture to the extreme has ran its course. Right?
Okay.
I think if we look at rap in the 90s, like me and our mutual friend talk about this a lot, it mirrored where film and television was. So if you look at like shows in the early 90s, right? Like you got like Queen Latifah, UNITY, Naughty by Nature. You got shows like Martin, right? A guy that works at the radio station in a one-bedroom apartment with his girlfriend trying to make an honest living.
Right.
Jamie Foxx show, a guy that works with his family's business, right? So the music was more unity. As we started getting shows like The Wire and like Oz and all these different shows and these like criminal shows started being glorified, the music became that. And the music became a representation of that. And I feel like somewhere around the 2023 era, there was a Chief Keef boom of drill music, and it glorified the quote-unquote street nigga. It made it cool to just, like, go kill somebody and talk about it on Vlad TV.
Right.
It made it cool to just, like, expose all your dirty secrets and put it out there in music for people to monetize. And I think that's become bad for business. I think that was a business model for so long to where a lot of people signed these artists. You get a kid who shoots somebody, writes a song about it, a record label comes signs him for $1 million. What do you think he's going to do? He's gonna go buy more guns and supply his hood, right? And where they gonna make more diss songs? Who are they dissing? This guy down the street. Well, guess what the other record label about to do? Come sign him and give him $1 million. And then what's he gonna do? Buy more guns and talk about them. So it just amplified. Then they start record labels and now they artists is beefing. It's very similar to the shit in the streets. Yeah. So I feel it's become bad for business because when you're trying to book people for festival, all these niggas in jail. When you're trying to hit people for features, they're dying. When you're trying to do business, it's just become bad. So now hip hop is in a place of a shift and things are changing. For me, I've dealt with a lot of bad business dealings the last 2.5 years. So there's a lot that I have to say about it in my music that I physically couldn't say the last 2 years. But we're slowly approaching the end of that process. And I think by next month, which is April, I think we'll be ready to put music out. And I have a lot to say about the current state of music. But I just think, you know, it's getting back to being authentic and getting back to being regional. It was at a point now where the world was it was at a point at one time where the world was one big neighborhood musically, right? To where all the production sounded the same, all the lyrics sounded the same. Like, people would literally come in my sessions and be like, bro, you need one of them Drake hooks. Like, nigga, I'm not Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for Drake. Like, let me figure out what works for me. And I think artists are slowly finding what works for them and who they're the voice of the audience they're representing.
Do you think that there's something to the, you know, TikTok culture of just trying to make something trendy, trying to make something a quick hit, as opposed to the album type of artist? Because if you just look outside of hip hop at, say, like a Beyonce and a Taylor Swift, who obviously had massive tours that were extremely financially beneficial to them, they are putting out albums. Like, they're putting out these, whatever you prefer as far as music. Like, I you know, Taylor Swift is not
album
for
artist,
me,
a catalog
but an album artist and a fucking huge tour attraction. So there is that audience for that. And I think, I mean, I come from an album era, obviously. So to me, an artist like a Cole, like a Kendrick, like a Beyonce, like a Taylor Swift, that can put out an album, to me, is what separates those artists, is what makes them unique and so impactful. There's something just so the quick turnaround to me that I think has an effect on music also.
I think those artists you named came up in a different time.
Right.
Right? And
yeah, they came up during albums.
Yeah, I think times have changed. So, like, let's look at it like this, right? The world knows you work on FS1, right? Fox is a big sports network, boom, right? But now you have things like YouTube, to where there's shows like The Volume, right? And they have shows that's under that channel and things like, I look at TikTok like a YouTube, that's like The Volume. And if you look at FM AM radio, that's like a FS1, right? So there's people who don't necessarily know how to work TikTok that's still getting in their car, turning on their radio, going into Target, listening for a song or whatever it may be. Those people still like music. Just because they don't know how to work TikTok don't mean that they don't exist. So I think it's just a different time now in the way things break, in the way artists are captured. I just learned about some artists that's breaking through WhatsApp. Doesn't have an Instagram, doesn't have a Snapchat. People are literally just sharing his song through WhatsApp, and it's making everybody go, who is this? Right? But it's the mystiqueness of community that makes everybody feel left out. That's like, okay, I already know about all these other, who's this new guy that nobody know? People want that now because of access. Yeah. Everybody has access to where in the old music industry, they owned all the studios. They owned all the software. They owned all the equipment. Now it's like you could pick up the phone, get a beat off YouTube, record it, and send it to you could mix it right there on the phone, put it on YouTube in less than an hour, and this thing could have 1 million views by tomorrow. Yeah. So I just think access has changed, which has gave everybody access at the craft. Do I think it's fair? I think at some point we're going to have to separate it, right? Because for what you do, you're somebody that's a real opinionist in sports that really digs hard and go to work, right? Think about somebody that just watches your content, right? Puts it up and then do a duet and be like,
and then gets the views.
and they getting paid for that.
Yeah.
But
See,
it's all you.
I don't mind that part. I think all businesses evolve and change with technology and times. I mean, the business is completely different than it was pre-COVID because of Zoom and the ability to make all these digital shows and the audience consuming those digital shows in a way that they weren't before. So all businesses changing, music is changing, and I'm not against that. I just think that to speak to what you're talking about with like what the next step is for music and particularly for rap, I think the goal of making a project puts you as an artist in a space that elevates your creativity, that makes you thoughtful about who you collaborate with. It makes you thoughtful about the sounds for that album, the message for that album. And I think that elevates all of the music that you're putting out. So that to me, again, an album era kid.
And we're slowly getting back to albums.
Yeah.
Like Doechii, right?
Yeah.
Amazing album last year. Tyler, the Creator, amazing album. Kendrick Lamar, amazing album. They're all dark-skinned like me, by the way. SZA, amazing album. But like those are artists that's had time to develop.
Yeah.
I think now because of the access, you get artists that's developing in real time that doesn't even know what an album feels like for them yet, and they got 1,000,001 people watching them with this song that's going up.
Yeah.
So I think certain practices that was a part of the last decade needs to be brought into this decade. And I think with AI and certain things, we'll see a boom of artist development and helping artists identify their brand a lot more to be able to create a sound and create a curation of an album for who they're the voice for.
So you played Too Short.
Biatch!
Freaky Tales. Make sure you go and see it. What was that experience like? What did you do to channel the iconic Too Short?
Yeah, it's crazy because I was having a conversation on the way here, and I was saying the difference for me, from my experience, I think I posted this today, I was saying the movie experience was a lot more organized than music. In music, I could make a song and I could be in love with this song, and then there's all these things that's like in between me getting this song out, right? Sample gotta be cleared, or this person might not like the hook, or this girl didn't sing this note right. You gotta redo this. And then before you know it, you've changed the song 90 times to where you don't even like it no more. With movies, it was like the same script they sent is the same script that you're gonna see April 4th. You know what I mean? And the times that we had to be on set and the times they told us we'd start was the times we start. When lunch started at that time, lunch started at that time. Like everything was like to the T and on point to where the production was very cohesive. And for me, it was a great experience because it kind of showed me like how sporadic I am in my art process. And it's like made me kind of like reel things back a lot more, but it's also made me question a lot of things because I'm very impulsive in times. So I'll like make very impulsive decisions and be like, oh shit, I shouldn't do that right now. Like, how do I dial this back? But I got that from like being on set of the movie. So it was a great movie. Shout out to Ryan and Anna, Macro, Lionsgate, Jelani Johnson. Everybody in the film did an amazing job. Jay Ellis, Pedro Pascal, Tom Hanks, Jake Champion, star-studded cast, and the greatest rapper of the world, Symba. Yeah,
it was an amazing cast.
Yeah.
The learning about the production was something I learned really quick in LA also because I came from the radio, which is lacks.
So what was that transition like?
Well, I mean, so I'm sure you know this now from working on these sets. The reason that it's on time is because shit ain't on time. That shit costs money. And people getting fucking fired. And they are not playing. If you got to be on set, you got to be on set. If it's lunchtime. Don't work another second. And everybody has a job. So I shot this commercial once, a credit card commercial. And I was super new to LA. And it was my first like big production commercial. And one of the, like the person holding the cue cards dropped the cue cards. So I'm like, you know, I'm a nice person at the time. And I'm helping her pick up the cue cards. And everyone was like, don't fucking touch the cue cards. Like screaming at me. I'm like, the fuck? Like she dropped the cue cards. I'm helping her out. Don't touch them. It's her job. She can get them. Do not touch the cue cards. I was like, all right, dog. Like, whatever you say, it's not that serious. And they're like, no, it actually is very serious because it's union. So, like, if you're working wardrobe, you work in wardrobe. If you work in makeup, you work in makeup. If you work in lighting, you work in lighting. There's a job for somebody to put the marks for you to walk to so that you hit the camera mark on time so that the lighting hits you properly.
You just made me realize something, sis.
What?
Ain't no fucking union in music.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like the thing. Yes.
God damn.
Yeah. They don't play about that, especially in LA. That's what the union's like. When this is like super inside baseball for people who don't give a fuck about this. I'm sorry, but that's how it works. Like when there was the strike, you cannot work. Like if you cross the line to work, like you won't be able to come back to the union. And being a part of the union, you get health insurance, you get lawyers, and part of that exchange is these productions get the best people, you know, get real professionals, but you can't, you basically, so you can't abuse people. Like I can't hire you to do makeup, but I'm also making you hold the lights, and I'm also making you run the jib, and I'm also making you run wires. Like your job is your job. And that's why those productions are so on point, because if you go over an hour, if you have to do reshoots, that shit is expensive.
It's crazy you say that, because I literally, the convo I was having over here, I was telling my homeboy, I'm like, he's getting into the music space. He has an artist he's investing in. He was asking all these questions. And I was like, look, hire people for solely what they do. I was like, he was like, we need a team. I was like, bro, it's hard to build a team of what you see in your mind. The team will find you, right? Hire people for what they do, because what'll happen is you'll get the engineer, right? And then the engineer get to hanging with the rapper, and then he get to see in the process of how the interview goes, and then this rapper then got the girl he follow, and now he like, I want to rap. Like, I think I could do this, right? Yep. And then he tries to do it, and it don't work, and now it's your fault, right? And now you this fucked up person who didn't believe in him, and you only want to see yourself shine, and you don't think about nobody else but you. All of those things come from what you just said, not having a fucking union. What do you fucking do? Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Because you just made me realize the costume people on that set never left their area.
Never. For what?
The only time they left their area was when someone that they clothed were on set filming and they had to make an adjustment. The makeup people never left their area.
Yep.
Damn, thank you for educating me.
Yeah, that's why those productions are, and they're great to work on because they're usually run really well.
Yeah.
So when you hear that it's not run really well, you can assume that there's some shit went sideways, because they're very serious about that, and that's how you make money. So what was your experience like acting though?
It was fun. For me, it wasn't as challenging as most people may think. For me,
well, you're a performer, so did you tap into that?
Not just that, I know Too Short.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in the Bay Area. Like my aunties know him, my grandma know him. I have an auntie, not my auntie Teresa, because she hates when I say this story, because everybody call her like, is you the one no talking about all the Too Short shit? And it's not my auntie Teresa. Shout out to my auntie Teresa. This is my auntie Charlene, that's a close friend of the family. Too Short used to pimp her. So we grew up watching this cat like do some of the coldest shit, like and we'd be like, I want to be like that.
Okay, sorry. For clarification, Too Short used to pimp your aunt?
So just a little backstory. I'm from the Bay Area. In the Bay Area, pimp culture is very big.
Yes.
It's a very big thing. In the 80s, Too Short made a lot of music about pimping. I have a auntie that we call auntie that's a close friend of the family, who Too Short was guiding her on her journey as an up-and-coming young woman. And he led her to the promised land. And she will tell you to this day, a lot of skills that she used at her jobs today and things that she do to this day, she got from Too Short.
To be clear, she's not still a professional.
No.
Okay.
No. She's beyond that. But back in the day, she had a bad past, right? And he helped her get on track. And she'll tell you that.
So he was a good pimp.
To her. I can't speak for his other hoes, but I know to her he was.
He's a positive pimp.
He was a positive pimp. For sure.
I mean, this is what you can only hope for one, you know?
For sure.
That's why he's had so much success. All
but
that, all that good karma he built up.
It's a tough thing, like, talking about that sometimes, because, like, when you talk about, like, pimping just around the world, it's just, like, cringy. But, like, in the Bay, it's so normal.
Well, I mean, pimping, the sex industry, the sex work industry is a complicated conversation. We've talked about this.
Yes.
Because of OnlyFans.
Yes.
And fans only.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to fans only.
Shout out to fans only.
Yeah.
Which, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And it's, there's slavery.
Yes.
There's more people in slavery now than ever in the history of the world.
This is true.
There's, sex trafficking. There's very high level profile cases like Epstein that, have, and listen, in no way am I glamorizing sex work, but sure. I think that there's levels to this conversation, and it often gets boiled down to the extreme of the worst. And what we're talking about in some ways is, I don't want to use the word consensual, because I think sometimes I would assume that Too Short would agree with this. This is a product of environment.
Yes.
So while someone may be doing this of their own free will, it is because of the environment that they're in that they are feeling that they have to do this in order to make money.
And the times.
Right.
The times are different. Like, even in the movie takes place in 1987, and I'm rapping, like, all pimp lyrics. Like, literally, as I'm doing it, shout out to Dominique Throne and Normani. Those were my co-stars in the scenes that I'm in. We have a rap battle scene, and I just gotta play like Short in 87, and I'm just like calling them out their name and just being like super disrespectful, and just like the person in me is just like it's just killing me. But it's like, I'm doing this. That's
acting.
But you gotta do it. But it just shows
you're a thespian.
I'm a lesbian, okay? I'm not a thespian. But it shows where we were.
Right.
In a time of the 80s and what was accepted then versus what's accepted now. Like, listen to certain rap lyrics then, listen to certain rap lyrics now.
It's so different. I mean, I was watching a video of Gen Z listening to an Eminem song, and they were losing their minds.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that wasn't even his first song.
Yeah,
I mean, it was rough, I guess, in hindsight, but that's what we were raised on. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a stark difference between something like that and, say, like an OnlyFans manager.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's darkness to all these things. There's darkness in every business, but I think obviously when you're dealing with sex, it becomes, a different conversation.
For sure. That's one of those things that's a very touchy subject, especially being from where I come from. Just because of the whole pimp player culture and how everybody looks at things. But I tend to, everybody makes their own decisions. Everybody's grown, and I don't feel nobody should force anybody to do anything. Like, whatever your choice is your choice.
I agree. We listen and we don't judge.
We listen. Well, I do judge sometimes.
Some
of you motherfuckers need to be judged.
I'm definitely judging.
Some of y'all do need judging.
Yeah, we all judge each other, actually. Yeah. That's a very
some don't. Some just need to be listened to and heard. But some of you motherfuckers need to be judged. Y'all are crazy.
Well, thank you for coming in. Make sure that you check out Freaky Tales in theaters on April 4th. A star-studded cast. And, of course, my brother Symba playing the retired pimp, Too Short.
Yes. Shout out to Uncle Short, man. Shout out to Freaky Tales. A lot of new music on the way. But shout out to my sister, man. Shout out to Too Personal. I know a lot of what you go through behind the scenes, and I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Stand up like a soldier every motherfucking time, and we stand on business. We stay Too Personal, champ. Let's get it.
Thanks so much to Symba for stopping by. That was amazing. Make sure you go check out Freaky Tales and follow him on social media. It's time for Never Too Personal. We love hearing from you guys. Thanks for sending in your stories and questions. I worked very hard to find a different one this week because I know you guys love a relationship and sex question. And I love a relationship and sex conversation, of course, but I want to mix it up. So I really liked this one. You guys are not going to like my answer for this, but you know, it's what I like. So this is what's happening. I'm working on a music playlist for working out. What are 5 can't miss workout songs for you? Okay. I don't know if you're going to like any of these, but these are there's a couple like go-tos that I have for this and then some current ones that I like. So I'll start with the current ones. I love Big X the Plug. I love Big X the Plug. I mean, love. You really can't go wrong with a Big X the Plug like radio or just playlist. So I can listen to all Big X the Plug, but the biggest is my song right now. Nueva Yo. Yes? Close enough. Bad Bunny. Love Benito, obviously. And that one is a go-to for me right now. Spectrum, Say My Name by Calvin Harris and Florence and the Machine. That is a go-to for me. Take Me to Church, Hosier, a throwback, but always a good one. And I'm going to throw a little wild card in there because I'm a Disney kid. But I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. Okay? I'm just saying. It's a bop. It's a bop. It'll get you going. All right. It's good for cardio. I don't know about a heavy lift, but it's good for cardio, which is what I do in the gym because I am on the elliptical and that's the only thing. I don't pick things up and put them down. I do Pilates. But hope you like my list. Let me know what songs you are going to for your workouts these days. You'll probably hate most of those suggestions, but that's the best I can do because that's what I like. And I have to be honest with you. Thank you for sending in your questions. Send in your stories or questions to twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com. And on Sundays, we have a prompt on our social media on Instagram at Too Personal Show, which you should be following, and you can put it in there as well. So we love hearing from you on Never Too Personal. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Loved hanging out with you. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Go follow Symba, follow Too Personal Show, and we will catch you next week. Thanks, guys.